Hello everybody, welcome back to Rain and Pours. I'm Mitch and today I'm using some of the brand new This Little Piggy pigments to create some blooms. So I've finally figured out the recipe again. It's been a while since I've bloomed. I've been trying lots of different things, and with the new pouring medium and everything and me being able to find some of the old pouring medium, things have been a little bit hectic and I haven't bloomed in a long time. So I'm happy that I've figured everything out, and I'm going to create another painting today. So I'm painting over this cloud pour that I did, which should have been released already, and I used the brand new pigment Persephone in this one, but I stupidly mixed up just Floetrol with Liquitex Liquithick, and it's all bumpy and textured, which is not great. So I'm going to paint over it. We're going to do a bloom using my British Paints Low Sheen Interior House Paint and the new little piggies. So some of the new ones I have are Persephone, Billabong, Psyche. Psyche is a neon piggy, it's not shimmery. I've got Black Forest, Abalone and Strom. Abalone is a beautiful baby blue colour with a gold colour shift and a green colour shift, it's awesome. And then I have Matisse Payne's Grey. So Strom is a wonderful steely grey colour that's like meteorite without the gold shift. Black Forest is a super deep green, and it looks almost black in my container now. It's very different mixed up to what it is actually in the bag, so I'm hoping this dries that beautiful deep green, and I'll show you the difference in my sample bag. This is what it should look like. So it's almost like Boastful. But yeah, it looks very different mixed up in the paint. I'm hoping that's just how the pouring medium is, and it's going to dry nice and green. And we've got Billabong, which is a lovely bluey turquoise tealy green colour. Okay, so pillow paint I'm using, British Paints Low Sheen Interior in white, and we're going to put down a generous pillow, and I'm going to cover my corners and edges before I do anything else, so that I know that the paint is going to cover everything. I'm just going to use my finger here to paint the sides and get the paint into the corners. So because this is a cover-up job, we want to make sure everything is covered completely, and the best way to do that is to just paint it with your fingers at the start. And because this one does have some texture, I'm hoping it does dry a little bit thicker, so I've put down quite a bit of pillow, and it should cover everything up, and it should dry nice and flat on top. So that's a good start. Let's get ready with our colors. So when layering your colors, the way that you put them down is quite important. You always want to start with a tube paint to support all of your pigments, and then go from there. So let me just bring the painting into the center here. Okay, so the first color I want to put down is my Payne's Grey. I'm going to put a little bit of that down, and then I'm going to put down some Psyche. So the reason I'm putting Psyche down is because even though it's a pigment, it's opaque and it's got more body than the mica pigments do. So this one's going to go down as my first/second color. And that's going to be one of the colors that we see more of. Now when you're mixing up your neon pigments, make sure that you let them disperse in the Jo Sonja for a couple of minutes, or even just use water to break down all of those clumps, because they do tend to be quite clumpy if you don't. And you can see little specks of neon color in your pores. So let's do Black Forest next. This color is so deep and dark, it's gorgeous. Then I want to go with Storm. So I'm sort of layering dark to light here. This beautiful Storm Silver. Then I'm going to put more of our Payne's Grey. And the general rule is 1 tube, 2 pigs, 1 tube, 2 pigs. You can push that to 3 piggies if you want to. Then Persephone, and I'm doing this one in the middle, so I sort of get those colors all mixed in and blended together when it's blown out. Then we'll do Billabong, I was going to include Burnt Sierra in this as well, but I thought that was just one too many piggies. And finally abalone. And I put abalone last so we get that gorgeous gold shift across almost everything. And finally top it with some more of that Payne's Grey. Alright, so we're going to put down our, this time for my cell activator, I'm not going to be using titanium white, I'm going to do a black cell activator because I love me a black cell activator. And this is Amsterdam Lamp Black mixed with Australian Floetrol. So I'm just going to pour that on in the middle and we're going to blow it out. This looks very pretty. Okay. It's very dark and mysterious, these colors. I'm just checking for any big bubbles that may have popped up. Got a couple, so I'm going to pop those before I spin so they don't form any weird shapes in my piece. Now, unlike my good friend Lisa Marvin, I'm not going to smoosh and squish and do all sorts of weird things to this. We are just going to spin it, but first I'm going to make sure that my edges have enough paint so that the design is going to hold its shape. I'm just going to make sure there's plenty of paint on there. For anyone wondering, this tool that I'm using is just a like a butter spreader or spatula thing that I got from a kitchen shop. I don't know what it's called or if it has a specific name. It was just a silicone tool that I found, and it's quite useful for mixing up bigger containers. And now we spin nice and gently so that everything stays intact and we don't warp our cells. So I'm not happy with this part here. It's very cell-less. So I'm wondering if I'm going to bloom over the top of this. No, let's keep it. I may do some swirlies in here, so let's bring in some of this paint. Just bring in some swirls, and then to balance it out I'm going to swirl a little bit over here. And swirl a little bit here. Small amounts, not over the top and not ruining my petals. So give it a spin, let's get everything spread out. Now when you do your embellishments, will determine what stage, before or after spinning, will determine how big your swirls go and how your cells form afterwards as well. So swirling before you spin means that your swirls are going to get nice and big and they're going to expand with your design, but there's also a chance that they will warp and not be so pretty and dainty. If you do them afterwards, they're much more likely to hold their shape. You're just working with a lot less paint at the end. So let's have a look at this. It is very dark, and I don't think I like it. So we've got some gorgeous cells, but I'm not happy with that, and I'm not happy with the Persephone in there. So we're going to make some changes. I'm going to keep that bloom on there. We're going to put down some more pillow, and we're going to bloom over it. So sometimes you just have to make a sacrifice and go again. So this time I'm not going to use Persephone. I'm actually going to put Persephone away. This time I think I want to use the Burnt Sierra. So let me just get that out. Oh, actually, let's use Mint Chip. So Mint Chip is another new pigment. It is Lisa Marvin's amazing Martha Green. So this is what it looks like. Super pretty pigment. So we're going to use that in place of Persephone, just to lighten things up a little bit. So first color down, let's put Psyche. And then let's go with Black Forest. Not too much. Then Sterling. Not Sterling, Storm. Sorry, Sterling is our other silver. Then I'm going to do the Payne's Grey. Billabong. Abalone. And then Mint Chip on top. Yeah, that's much nicer. I want plenty of Mint Chip to even things out. And then this time I'm going to do black and white cell activator, I think, just to lighten things up. So a little bit of black and a fair bit of white. That is Sheleeart Titanium White in there. Let's try this one. Much happier with that. That looks way, way better. Super, super pretty. Yes. Okay, now we've got plenty of paint on here, so we're going to give this our spin. Nice and slow to get everything moving. Get all that older paint off from that first pour, and straight away you can see that that new white paint has replaced everything on top, and we've just got to get it to replace everything underneath. So much prettier. So we'll just scrape off all this base paint that came from underneath. One side's already covered. Other side's already covered. Yep, all four sides are now covered with that white. So we are good to spin and get everything off. So sometimes you just have to cover up, make a sacrifice, decide that's not what you want, and move on. Not all ideas are good ideas, apparently. We should all know that. Okay, let's continue spinning and getting this paint flowing and moving. So one thing I'm going to look for now is my corners, to make sure that the actual corners themselves are covered with white and not that green black from before. There we go. And you can help it along by drizzling some directly down the corner. This will spin off. Now I'm going to shift my design. I think I'm going to shift it this way to move the middle area of the painting so that I don't get a wonky middle. I'm going to shift it down this way. And the paint has suctioned itself to the spinner, so let's bring it this way. And this is just to move the weight of the paint from the middle of the painting, so here, outwards. That's going to shift that lump and mean that when I spin it out, when I shift it back to the middle of the spinner, it's going to spin out evenly on all directions, but for now it's just shifting that lump of paint from the middle. Okay, here we go. And now we can continue spinning, making sure to get enough paint off so that we don't get cracking. Now I'm just going to tilt towards me. The middle is still moving quite a bit, so let's give it a bigger spin. Just once. We don't want to ruin our cells because we've got some gorgeous cells happening there. So to recap, the colours that we used were Matisse Payne's Grey. All of the brand new This Little Piggy pigments are Psych, the Neon Turquoise, we've got Billabong, Mint Chip, Black Forest, Abalone and Storm. For a gorgeous, gorgeous green monochrome, not neutral, monochrome colour scheme here, that blue and green colour. Beautiful. So I'm getting just a little bit of flocculation in my Payne's Grey, and it's causing my other colours to break up, but I think I'm very happy with this one, and it adds to the effect, really. So guys, this is another bloom painting using the new This Little Piggy pigments, released October 13, 2023. There are 13 pigments all up, released on October 13, so that makes so much sense. I'm going to put this one aside to dry. If you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.